Good morning. This is not the normal week we have breakfast at Tiffany's, but I did remind everybody that it would be today because there will be nothing next week, which would have been the normal time for a breakfast at my place, Only because I won't be here. I've been going bye-bye. Yeah, I'll be at a quilt show. That's what I'll be doing. Anyway, let's see who's all here. Oh, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting life. We're going to have some breakfast today. As you can see to the side of me. That's what we're doing. Anyway, let's see. Karen is here, Vicky, another Karen, Cindy, Robin, Deborah, Norma, and Tina, Karen, Dawn, Amanda, Ava, Janet, Sue, and many more. Welcome, everybody. In today's video, I don't do holidays. I don't do any kind of cutesy, girly, blah, blah, blah. I'm a girl. Valentine's Day is easy for me. Nothing, nothing, and nothing. That's what I like. I don't like flowers. I don't need no candy. Oh, we don't even have to go on a date. We could just stay at home, make dinner for ourselves, and hang out and watch movies. I am an easy, simple girl. But all of you out there are not. You guys like to do cutesy and decorate and all that stuff. Well, I figured since Valentine's Day is like, what, 2 days away, 3 days away, something like that. It's in a few days. I would show you a real quick, easy project that I found online because I needed something easy that we could do and gift those we love with a love note. And today's pattern has a link. If you type in explanation pattern, it'll bring up the link, or it's in the description of the video. It is a free pattern on Fat Quarter Shop that you can download and make this with me. But since it's a free pattern, I could give out the measurements for free while we're here as well, because I'm showing you how to make it. So there's the example right there. I made that yesterday in less than an hour. Literally, it goes together so quick. But since I'm on camera, obviously, it probably won't take, well, it'll probably take just a little bit longer than it did, Anyway, it's a free pattern. Way, way, way beginner friendly. It has big pieces. So if you don't like little piece stuff, this is like the little project for you. And you don't have to just make one. So it does make a pretty big block. But imagine if you made 4 of them, you have yourself a little baby quilt. If you made 6 of them, you have a lap quilt. Think about it. If you made 9 of them, you have an even bigger lap quilt. And it doesn't even need that much stuff. It's a pretty simple. So I have Love Note fabric. It's actually called, is there a spot where I could even read it? It's called Pen Pal by Anne Was Here for Clothworks fabric. I had 2 different colorways. So I have this one right here, and I'm putting it with the Pen Pal blue. And then I matched up a pink grunge. And if you see the teal that's in there, I had the perfect solid teal. And then obviously the one that's on the wall has the pink flowers, but they're interchangeable because it's all one fabric line. And then the one that's on the wall has the blue version that I put with the pink flowers. But I'm using the same background as everything, and I'll, make whatever. But I dug through hundreds and hundreds of free patterns, and I was like, I need something simple, beginner friendly for all of you out there. So I'm going to pull up the pattern. I won't have comments. Scott does. If you have anything, ask him. Because the pattern I downloaded is on my phone. So I actually have to open my phone and keep my phone on for me to even read said pattern. All right, so we're going to go to the cutting. You're going to decipher which one you want for which spot. So this for me right here, this big print is the envelope outside fabric. The green is the envelope inside fabric. The pink heart for me was the heart card. And then the pink is my background. So that's what we're going to do. Except I'm doing different colors. And the cutting directions are super, super simple. So for my background, which is the pink, I am going to cut, where am I at? Right there. My A piece is 1 10.5-inch square. So I'm going to start by cutting a 10.5-inch strip because the other cuts will come off of that. And I already have a nice straight edge to work with. So I'm going to cut a 10.5-inch strip, and then from there I'll cut the next pieces. That's all I need from that. I'm going to open it up. Can you plug the iron in, please? Yep. My fabric is super wrinkly. Wrinkly fabric. Yep. I'm going to line it up on a line and subcut 1 10.5-inch square. And I'll say all the measurements out loud, just so that you know, for those that, want to make it too, or making it along with me and you need verbal instructions to go with it. All right, so 10.5-inch square coming right up. Right there. So my A is 1 10.5-inch square. So I'm going to put an A on here so that I remember, because I have my letters. And as soon as the iron is warm, I'll have my husband press that flat. Ooh, I can iron? Yeah. And then my B piece is the same fabric, but I'm going to refold it back up nicely. And I'm going to cut 4 2-inch strips altogether off of it. So I'm going to go ahead, line it up, and cut 4 2-inch strips off of here, and then we'll subcut for our B and C. So 4 2-inch strips off of your leftover after you cut your 10-inch square. It says a half a yard, but you don't even need a half a yard for this, because I only use 10.5 inches. Just leave it over there. Thank you. And 4th one. And then I'm going to set this aside because I don't need it. And now we got to turn the phone back on. So the first for B is going to be 2 of these strips are going to get cut to 21 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and take 2 of these strips, open them up, and cut them to 21 inches. And then I'll have Scott press them flat because they are not very flat at this point. Actually, I'm going to press them first, honestly. They're not flat. This is what I get for cutting right off the little mini bolt. All right, now they're flat. So I'm going to line it up on a line. I'm going to cut the selvage off because it was already on there. And I'm going to cut these 2 pieces to 21 inches. All right. There. Set that aside because I don't need that. All right, so this is B. So I'm going to take my little marker and put that this is B. C is next. So those last 2 pieces, I'm just going to press these real quick. And we're going to cut these at 20.5 inches, both of them. And if you have a 1/4 inch seam, that's like perfect. Everything lines up perfectly. Like it's a miracle. It works out great. All right, so I'm going to line them up and cut them at 20.5. That's what I said? Yep, 20.5. 20.5. Set that aside. And put my C clip on it. Now we're going to move on to the heart. So this section right here is fabric. That will be the blue for me, this one. So we're going to go ahead now and cut D. We're going to cut a 10.5-inch strip off of here. I didn't quite have a yard of these fabrics, but all right, so I'm going to line it up on a line. And we're going to cut a 10.5-inch strip off of here, which will leave you leftovers to make more hearts if you wanted to. So I'm going to straighten my edge out and come over to 10.5 inches, right? I'm going to check one more time. 10.5 inches. Right there. Fold this up because I don't need that anymore now. Open this, press it. And open it again and cut a 6.5-inch piece off of here. I'm going to line it up on a line. I'm going to cut 6.5-inch piece. Oh, and we're going to do a giveaway today, and we're going to start it now. You could win my love note to you. So we're going to let that giveaway run. You can enter it. We never do giveaways on Breakfast at Tiffany, so this is a perfect opportunity to win the one I made yesterday. Okay, so where are we at? One more check, 6.5 inches. So we cut 10.5 wide. Now we're going to cut 6.5 inches. That's 5, that's 6. That is a half. 6.5 inches. Cut off my 6.5 inches. So that one is D. So I'm going to go ahead and put my D clip on there. Set it aside. The block is this whole thing, which is 20 by... Oh, the one I cut out now is 6.5 by 10.5. Now we're going to cut E. So I'm going to cut a 4.5-inch strip off of here. 4.5-inch strip. And then I don't need this anymore. Enough to make more. And then we're going to subcut that into a 6.5-inch piece. So there's my 6. There's a half. So it should be 4.5 by 6.5 for your E piece. Like that. Set it aside. Put that over there. Next fabric is the inside of the envelope, which would be this green. So I'm going to go ahead now, take my green. I don't have any leftover pieces to cut from. I cut pretty precise yesterday. All right. So this is going to be F, G, H, and I. So we're going to cut a 4.5-inch strip. I already have a straight edge on this because I was cutting from it yesterday. So I'm going to cut one 4.5-inch strip. I'm going to press it real quick. That way it's nice and flat. And then I'm going to turn it right here and cut one 4.5-inch square for F. I'm just going to cut the selvage off and cut one 4.5-inch square. That's my F. Then, to make this more efficient, I'm going to cut a 5-inch square off of here and we're going to subcut it. So 5-inch, turn it to the other side and cut a 2.5-inch strip. That's my extra piece. And then turn that and cut two 2.5-inch squares for your G. Two 2.5-inch squares. This is the most efficient way to cut this. Now we're going to go to H. We're going to fold this back on top of itself. Nice and straight. There we Everything's lined up. And we're going to go ahead and cut. Oops, don't turn off screen. 2 1.5 inch strips off of this piece. 1. 2, leaving me with this. Don't need that. Just going to put it over my scrap pile. And then we're going to subcut. Both of these are going to be different. So one is H. We're going to get 2 12.5 inch rectangles. So I'm just going to straighten it up. Use my ruler. It's folded in half, and get my 2 12.5 inch rectangles. And that is H. Clip it, set it aside. And then I is 2 10.5 inch rectangles, 10.5 by 1.5. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the excess selvage off, and then go to, what did I say, 10.5? 10.5. And this will be your eye pieces. Grab my eye, got my 2 10.5 inch pieces there. Set this aside. That can be used towards something else. I have enough here to make ones out of the scraps. Now, last fabric is the outside of the envelope. I'm just going to pull this off the little mini bolt there. And where are we at? Outside envelope is J. So we're going to go ahead now and straighten this up, and I'm going to cut a 10.5 inch strip off of here. So I'm going to make it nice and straight. Line it up. And cut a 10.5 inch strip. Don't need this. I'm going to open it and press it, and then cut off a 10.5 inch square for J. So just going to open it all the way. Get that selvage off. And come to 10.5 inches. So there is my J piece, a 10.5 inch square. Yeah, get that flat right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold this back on top of itself. And I'm going to cut off a 4 inch strip. Setting this aside. And then I'm going to subcut that 4 inch strip into a 17.5 inch rectangle. Down to 17.5. Right there. And then that gets set aside. So K is a 4 inch by 17.5 inch rectangle. All right. Assembly is just as easy as all that cutting. Now I just got to go to that page. All right. We are going to take and start sewing. We're going to need G, E, and D pieces. Your G pieces, your E pieces, your D pieces, oh, and the F. And the F piece. All right, pay attention to the diagram that is in the pattern. So draw a diagonal line if you need to on your G pieces. I'm not going to. I am going to start with the D piece. And what I'm going to do is place one of my 2.5-inch squares, which was G, in the top left corner. When it's facing me, it's in the top left corner, and I'm going to sew from corner to corner of that piece. So from corner to corner, and I'm just using my seam tape, and it should look like this at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and snip off that extra 1/4-inch seam, and then I'm going to press it towards the heart, the blue for me, the dark. Press it towards the dark. So now you have a unit that looks like this. Just going to put it on the wall momentarily. Now you're going to take your E and then your G, 2.5-inch square, and your E piece, that's 4.5 by 6.5. And we're going to place this in bottom right corner. Bottom right corner, and I'm going to sew from corner to corner. It should look like this. I'm going to cut away that extra 1/4-inch seam, and I'm going to press it towards the dark again. Now, keeping that one next to me, I'm going to go ahead and add my F unit, to the top. So not on that bottom, we're adding it to the top. Right sides together. It really doesn't matter because I'm using a solid. And we're going to sew a 1/4-inch seam. And no, I'm not using my magnetic seam guide. It is a miracle. And then I'm going to go ahead and press this towards the blue. Now, you should have a unit that looks like that. Now, we're going to hook those two together, creating this L shape. So right sides together, 1/4-inch seam. I'm going to go ahead and press it towards the bigger piece, towards the dark. And now, if you place this on point, you have your heart. Now we're going to pull our I and our H pieces, which are 1.5 by, I don't know because I don't have it open. One is 1.5 by 10.5, and one is 1.5 by 12.5. We're going to take those. There's 2 of each. And I'm going to do the I first. We're going to grab the block, and I'm going to put my I pieces. I'm going to lay it where I don't even remember what letter that was, the 4.5-inch background or envelope square. I'm going to lay that to where it's to the right for me. And I'm going to attach one to each side. One I piece to each side of this with a 1/4-inch seam. See how easy this is, guys? We're like flying through it. And everything fits exact. If you're sewing with your 1/4-inch seam. Before I press, I'm going to go ahead and add the opposite side. That one kind of got a little wonky, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead now and press this towards my center square part. All right. Now it should look like this. We're going to add a top and a bottom to that. So I'm just going to lay it right here, and my H is going to go on the top and on the bottom. Right sides together, 1/4 inch seam. Let's put that way. I'll just open it as I need it. Excuse me. Keep with that 1/4 inch seam, Tiffany. Whew, I really suck at no seam guide. All right, before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead and attach the other side. And because I'm on camera, my thread came out. Oh, well, it's tangled somehow. Did that happen? Don't you tell them what you did this morning. Yeah, this morning I cleaned my machine. Not as good as I would if I would have took it outside, but I took the bottom thing off, and oh my goodness, the amount of yuck that was in there. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was to have balled it up, it would have been like that big of a snowball size ball of yuck that came out of my machine today. It was a lot. It was so much. And I oiled it, and that's why it sounds and feels so smooth. All right, keep that on there. Only reason why I don't have the seam guide going right now is because my first couple things are snowballed, and then, I'm going to keep going with this, All right, so I'm going to go ahead and press these towards the center. This allows me to stitch in the ditch nicely, having everything face that center seam-wise. Turn it around, get this side. Press the whole thing, and now we should have a 12.5 inch block that looks like this. The next step is to take your A and your J, which are your 10.5 inch squares, the envelope in the background, and we're going to cut those in half on the diagonal one time. A and J. Diagonal one time. So from the point to the point, slice each of them in half. Ta-da! Look how easy that was. And now we're going to take your A piece, and you're going to take it, here, let me just put it up here for the example part. You're going to take your A, and it's going to go here, and here, just like that. So I'm going to fold this in half to get a center, and fold these in half to get a center, and then line them up. Just going to move my J completely out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and make some fold registration marks. I'm using just my finger. I'm going to do it all the way around this whole entire thing. You can see it if you just finger press it. Nice crease at your centers. And I'm going to fold my A piece in half, crease the center, and my other one in half, and crease that center. And now you can pin these on if you want, but I am just going to take right sides together, line up those crease marks, hold it at the crease mark, and it's going to stick out pretty far, okay? Quarter-inch seam all the way down. I'm going to go ahead and press this towards the background. Trying not to iron over any of my other creases. And now I'm just going to lay it here and cut off these two big ends. Nice and straight right there, and nice and straight right there. Don't need those. Turn it back sideways again and line up my crease on here to this side. Now, this time, this should stick out just right on that. I'm going to hold my crease. Yeah, like I said, you can pin if you want to pin, but I'm not a pinner, so. Just holding it in place, sewing it on. I'm going to go ahead and press towards the background, or the A piece. While it's right here, I'm going to cut off this excess that's sticking out. Turn this, and now we're going to grab our, I think this was I or J or something. Either way, it's the bottom of the card. And we're going to do that same thing. I'm going to crease these, fold it in half on top of itself, put a crease, fold it, crease it. And I'm going to start with this one on this side. Line those creases up, hold it, and sew it. 1/4-inch seam. Pressing towards the piece I just added. Go ahead, cut that little excess piece off. Last one, I'm going to just line up my two creases, right sides together, hold it, sew it. Remember, that's a long bias edge that we're sewing on, so just watch it. Don't pull or tug on it, and it should be fine. And now I'm going to press that towards this. Since I've already made one, I don't need the instructions for the rest of this. I'm like a professional. I know what I'm telling you to do. All right, at this point, we need to trim this lovely thing to 17.5 inches square. I'm not worried about the bottom part. I'm worried about the top and the sides. So what I'm going to do is lay this on my mat. And we're going to go over here to the beginning. And I'm going to find where 17.5 is on my cutting mat, which is right there. Slide this over. I'm going to cut about 1/2 inch off of the sides. So I'm going to go right here to 17.5. I'm going to lay it on here. Right there. And I'm going to make sure that that's nice and straight. Make that cut. I have a 1/4-inch seam allowance on the side. I'm going to turn it, line that back up on the line. and come over to 17 and a half again. Like I said, I'm cutting about a ½ inch off both sides. Once those sides are done, I'm going to go ahead and turn it to this top part. I'm going to go a ½ inch away from the edge. So here's your point right here. I'm going to go a ½ inch out from that. I'm not going to break anything. I'm going to line the ruler up with my straight edges. There. And now turn it one more time and get that 17 and a half inches. It should be right there. I made sure we cut more of the top off than we did the bottom. 1/2. So the bottom I'm only cutting like, I don't know, a little bit more than a ½ inch. Okay, so now that we have a 17 and a half inch square that looks like this, we're going to take a sip of water because the husband finally brought me one.
Finally, I am sorry.
He forgot all about it. Now we're going to take our K piece, because we only have a few pieces left. I'm going to take the K that's 4 inches by 17 and a half inches, and we're going to attach that on the bottom. Literally, just putting it on the bottom, right there. So, right sides together. Right about here. Perfect. That looks good right there. And we're going to sew that on. This should be exactly the right size because we trimmed our block to 17 and a half inches. I'm going to carefully just sew it on here with my ½ inch seam allowance. I'm going to press towards the piece I just added. Now we have a unit that looks like that. And now we're just going to put the sides on. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I think B is first and then C. So B pieces are going to go on one side and then the other. So B goes on each side. I'm going to sew those on. For this, it's a longer seam. I'm just going to put my guide back on. Right. Come on. There's a ½ inch. Right sides together. I'm going to sew my two sides on. Go ahead, turn it, grab the next one, and sew that on. And everything still fits to size, like everything came out perfectly. The only part that you might struggle with is the turning it into a 17 and a half inch block. And maybe keeping your machine threaded, you know, because that's the struggle when we're on camera. Does this happen to you guys while you're watching me? You know, like that on camera effect?
You never know.
Like, are you guys losing your threads because I am, you know, losing mine on camera? Ay, ay, ay. It's like a never-ending cycle. I was filming the other day my open gate box, and it happened like 20 times. As soon as I wasn't doing, there was another section I was doing not on camera, not one thread break. Or pull out, because that's what's happening, is the thread is pulling out. And I didn't even clip it, and look, exactly the same size. I'm going to go ahead and press towards the background. Thursday to Sunday. Yeah, QuiltCon is a few days worth of a show. All right, lastly, we're going to add our C pieces on the top and the bottom. And literally, it's done after this. So C goes on the top and bottom. The pieces are exactly the right size. I'm going to go ahead, put it on, and sew it. If it'll stay where I put it. You know. Because that happens too. All right, and the bottom. Come on, right there. I'm going to press towards those pieces, and then this little tiny quilt top is done. Oh, I don't want to open the pattern, but it is 20.5 by, I think it's 23. Oh, 24 and a quarter, 24. I don't know. Anyways, that's how big it turns out. I like the one with the blue. How adorable. So see, if you were to take and just keep making these, even with the outer pieces, but choose different background colors for each one, and then hook like 2 across and 2 down and do 4 of them, obviously you'll have a good size. If you did 3 across and 3 down, which is 9 of them, you would have a great lap size quilt. But it's a big block, super simple to make. As you can see, we didn't even hit an hour yet, and the whole entire thing, top-wise, is done. And I bet in the last of the hour, I could probably quilt it even. But that's how big it turns out. Oh, when it's got binding on it?
We'll measure the total.
Oh, when it has binding on it.
So the winner knows what they're getting.
It becomes 20.5 by 23 3/3 ish, because obviously quilting changed the size. All right, we're gonna make another one. Why? Because I can. So, no, I'm not gonna go do that. I am going to do, this time, the blue with the blue background. And then I'll do another one that's the other pink with the pink background. Blue with the blue. Hold on, let's find all these extra pieces. Thank you, Marilyn. All right, here we go. Let's see. Putting that away there. Blue's gonna get the blue, and then we need this. All right, so I'm gonna recut all that again. I don't always remember certain things offhand, but we're gonna just do it all over again. So from my background, I'm gonna cut another 10.5-inch strip for my A piece and my B and C pieces. Another 10.5-inch strip off of here. This time I'm not gonna tell you the measurements or anything. I'm just gonna cut and make. That way you can see how it goes together when I'm not, you know, whatever the word is, when I'm just sewing on my own without all the telling you instructions. All right, 10.5-inch squares first. Cut that selvage off. feel like I've been using this pink grunge a lot lately and other stuff too. All right, there's my A. And if you have any questions, just ask. Fold this back up, cut some 2-inch strips. Good, perfect, lined up, beautiful. And one more. I will have to look at the 21 and 20 and a half. Straighten that edge up. Go down to 21. That's B. Throw that there, and C is 20 and a half. Oh, those lined up really nicely already. So there's my C. Now I'm cutting my hearts, which are blue. Oops. I need a 6.5-inch rectangle. 6 1/2. That is E. And a 4.5, right? Yep. 4.5 by 6.5. Oops. And that one is D. Where are we at? E. All right, let's do, moving on to F, which is the envelope inside, which is my green color. I'm using lots of my fabric up. I need a 10.5-inch strip, right? Oh, a 4.5-inch strip. 4.5-inch strip. Set that aside. Cut myself a 4.5-inch square. And that's F. And then 1.5-inch strips, right? Yep. 12.5 and 10.5. Yeah, once you make one, the rest becomes super easier to get 2, 12 and a half, and 10 and a half. G and H. And then lastly, we have outside of the envelope, we are doing the dark blue for this one. So I need a single 10 and a half inch strip off here. Take a 10-inch square. I'm just going to press it real quick.
Stealing my job.
I know.
Right.
Yep, I'm a job thief. He keeps saying I'm stealing his job. I'm just, doing things in my normal speed right now. So this is how it works. So I just do all the parts. Okay, we're going to take that to 10 and a half. I, or whatever piece. And then
I or whatever.
I don't even need to know where the parts and pieces go anymore. And then it was a 4-inch by 17 and a half. Where's my 17 and 1/2? Yep. I need to cut a 4-inch strip off of here. I'll be here.
I know.
I can't see comments. He's going to go let the puppy out across the street real quick.
They want to know what color.
The color of the heart that I'm doing on this one is this combo.
Oh, well, this is the other one. It's black.
No, it's a navy blue.
No, our camera doesn't.
Our camera doesn't really show color too well. Never has, but let's put this over here.
Margo gave you money too. Thank you, Margo.
Oh, thank you, Margot. You guys are just too generous, All right, I'm just gonna set that over there.
Oh, no, we don't have a puppy, just the...
Nope. Oh, the 2.5-inch squares. I knew I forgot something. Where is the green? I don't have any right here. Where is that? I don't have anything that's 2.5 inches here. No. I cut it all into strips before I cut off that darn piece. What a dummy.
We don't have a puppy. I'm going to let
We don't have a puppy. It's the neighbor's dog. We watch the neighbor's stuffs when they're not home. And in this case, it's the dog. He lets it out to go potty.
Yeah, tell him the neighbor goes golfing 3 days.
Yeah, the neighbor goes golfing a lot. So Scott is the puppy caretaker. Well, it's not really a puppy. It's a really old dog, but
We call it a puppy.
we call it a puppy because she's a Pomeranian. She's so tiny.
She's actually older than Thumper.
Yeah, she's older than Thumper.
But she's in better shape.
But better shape for sure. All right. I'm going to go to that next page of this because I just want to make sure that I'm getting my pieces correct. This one goes on the top corner here, and this one goes in the bottom corner here. All right, let's sew these on. Snip out excess, press towards my blue. After this one, I'll make the pink and white combination, because that's the one combination I haven't made yet. All right, grab my F for whatever piece this is. Put all those up there. That goes there, this goes there, and that goes here. Also going to grab those while I'm at it. Sorry, it sounds like I can barely sew, but it's just because my pedal has made its way beyond my foot. All right, now to attach these. Oh, I don't need that anymore, honestly. Like I said, once you make one, they go together pretty quickly after. All right, place that here so I could cut my big squares in half. All right, going to go ahead and give myself some creases for this. I just use my fingernail to make the creases. It works just fine. You can iron it though to create your crease, but I think fingernails suffice if you have them. If not, just rubbing it with your finger really hard. All right, put oh, don't flip, Mr. Seam. I don't like when the seams flip. Drives me bonkers.
Get the Tiffany going bonkers. You don't want that.
Don't want a bonkers Tiffany.
Don't want that.
All right, crease and add side number 2. Those creases on top of each other.
You got like 2 done already. Look at you. Speedy.
Yep, I'm speedy. But this is what it's like when I'm working not on camera. Obviously, I'm talking to you guys and stuff, but when I'm not on camera, things just go so much easier. But that's with anybody that's like teaching. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead now and fold these. Give them a crease.
What kind of things do judges look for when judging a quilt?
What kind of things do judges look for when judging a quilt show? Do I have a quilt to even show that I can judge myself? I'll judge my own quilt. Give me a second to finish this, and we'll.
Trying to get a hold of the judge. That was that.
Well, I know what they judge because I've learned that. I just meant let me get a quilt so that I can judge it and show you the things that they judge. All right, I'm going to trim this down. Well, give me a second. Oh, screw it. We'll do it right now. Okay. Here is a quilt. So first off, we're going to go with the quilting because that's the first thing you really see. Now, I can see that the quilting kind of looks a little sloppy. Like, see how I went into there? I mean, it happens. We're not all perfect. You can see this thing's covered in thread. And then you can see in the star, the quilting is definitely not equal. It's off. But then I did do this free motion, so it's not each one of these circles. See, like this one has no circle, this one does. So I would say the quilting is, what would the word be? Subpar. It's not 100%, but it's not the worst that I've seen. Then the next thing, you can see right here. See how my seam is sticking out right there? You can see all those stitches. That I would knock myself a point off with. Why? Because I should have used a maroon colored thread underneath here so that my white stitches didn't show any of my seams. And then so I will look at the rest of it and go, oh, it looks good. You can see right here. I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to nitpick this. See how when I went through, this means I had a duller needle. I should have changed my needle before long arm quilting. It literally ripped the fabric. It went in the wrong way. And there's a bunch of these little things all over because it was tearing. This is good quality fabric too, but it was tearing it, as you can see. So I would knock myself a point down for that as well. You can also see my quilting goes out of bounds in a few places. Nobody ever said I was perfect. So my quilting, I would say if this was a first, second, third place being the worst, first place being the best, quilting wise, I would say this is a third place. This is not that great. Piecing, I would say, look at those star points. They don't all match up. You see that? Some of them aren't coming. You can see my thread through here. because I didn't use a matching color. Obviously, I did this in a hurry because it's an open gate project. Piecing, I would give myself a 3rd place as well, because that is not no first place piecing. It's pretty sloppy. You know, you can see right there in that corner, see where the points are supposed to meet up, but it kind of flops over. Where is it? One of these corners, is it this one that did it? I don't know. Anyway, and then overall, like if you look at my quilting on the back, ooh, there's a disaster of thread here. It looks pretty good. My tension is pretty good on here. There's not really any tension abnormalities, so that would upped me up a point, you know. So I would say this is a 3rd place quilt in my judging of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, because piecing and stuff. But it also depends on what the other 2 look like. Are their points perfect? Do they come together right? Are the pieces accurate and all the same size when they were finally finished? Or did it get wonky? Does it bow? See how it has, all Lone Stars are going to do this. See how it kind of sucks in right there if I turn it sideways? All Lone Stars do that. That is uncontrollable. But that would be a point knocked off if you were a judge, because it's not completely flat. You know, but there's so many things they would nitpick. You know, the thread is a big thing. Changing your thread color to match your fabric is a #1 common thing. You're piecing in a judge's world sloppy because of that. And that's not my fault. Do you have excess threads? Did you not pick all your threads out? They're going to judge on that, you know, threads coming out of the seams. They're judging your quilting. They're judging the overall style and color of it. They're also judging your binding. And like I said, needles were not very good, so it's ripping on the fabric. I could not control that. I should have changed my needle for the whole project, but I didn't. But you can see, you know, it's not perfect. You know, some of them, you'll even judge the distance between your quilting lines to see how accurate and even your spacing, but that's for the more nitpicky of judges, I think. But overall, you know, if this was just an overall judged quilt, I'd say I did pretty good. You know, that's how it would be judged. All the little things in your quilt would be nitpicked, like crazily nitpicked. And I didn't get the judges' results on my big quilt, the one that, but I did get best free motion quilting on it, so.
That one was by an actual judge.
And that was actual judge that judged that quilt, so that was a pretty good. All right, I'm gonna take this to 17 1/2 this way. Oh no, let's take this seam down just a little bit more. Right about there. Try that one more time on this side. They're going to judge the distance between certain things. They're also going to judge like stuff like this. Did my point stay? Like this side, I lost the point, but this side, the point is still there. So they're going to judge the accuracy of your, you know, points. They're going to see if you've crossed over and whatever, you know, and things like that. They're looking for a lot of different things when they judge your quilts. This one is not going to lay very square. The judging process, that's why I could be a judge, because I can nitpick, but I can nitpick my own stuff. I feel bad nitpicking other people's stuff. I do give constructive criticism, though, when I am long arm quilting other people's quilts, because sometimes the seams aren't all pressed flat and it doesn't lay flat when I go to quilt it. Long arm quilting, I need certain things to be done, like a good ironing needs to be done. So I'll give them, you know, oh, this seam was popped open, check over your quilt, or your stitch length was too long. That's a big common one that I see in long arm quilting people's quilts, is they used a 2.5 to 2.8 stitch length on little pieces, and then there's gaps, you know, in the stitching. So I would look for things like that, but obviously you can't see that when you're judging a quilt. But I do give constructive criticism, which is my own kind of judging for people who send me quilts to long arm, and that's if they want it. If not, I don't offer it. Most people want it, though. They want to know where they can improve. And I'm not a perfect piecer, by no means. I'll tell you guys that out loud, you know. But there are certain quilts that I do, you know, pay quite a bit of good attention to and then get them as best as I possibly can. Going right there. That's where I want to cut it. I do my best with what I have. One more time on this side. Trying to make this completely equal at 17.5 inches, by the way. I don't want to lose my points, but this one was pieced a little bit sloppier because I was not teaching it, and you know, that happens. All right, I'm gonna go ahead now and add all the rest of the parts and pieces. All right, this one's gonna go on the bottom. Ta-da! Perfect size. Yeah, they have some judges really, you know, and that's when they can take time. Like there are quilt shows that there's so many quilts, there's like 10 different judges. One gets all this, you know, one gets all that, one gets all this section, you know. That's got to be a hard job though, to and then make the notes and tell people how good or bad they really are or what they need to improve. But that's good though, because I mean, most people don't want their quilts judged and don't want to know what they can or can't improve, but I do. I'm the kind of person that wants to know where I can improve in my piecing and in my quilting. I like that. I like that, knowing those things. All right, 2 sides. Ooh. I should close that blade before I start cutting myself and other things.
There requirements for the hanging sleeve?
Most quilt shows do want the hanging sleeve, yes. See, I lost my point on both sides of this one. Oh well, that just makes it look even better because it doesn't look like the envelope's trying to peek out from the other direction. Yes, most quilt shows need a sleeve on the back. Although I heard that my local show sometimes, some shows will allow you to put the sleeve on and use the little pins to pin it on, or safety pins or something, but
You hand sew yours?
I hand sew mine on. That's pretty much the only thing I hand sew. I take the time to hand sew the sleeves on because when they're not needed, they can just be ripped right off. Well, you undo a couple stitches and then it rips the rest of the way because I'm not the best hand sewer. As long as it holds the weight of the quilt, that's all that matters. Okay, number 2, but 4 of total of these done. I'll make one more before the end of this video. I think we'll make the other colorway. That way you can see all the different color combinations. Here, let's put this one. Somebody's gonna win down on the bottom. And then we'll make this one appear more. Oh, another thing they look for is if your quilts are square. If, you know, when you're getting judged for specific things, it would be if it's nice and square. Rippling in your borders.
Can't be a rectangle.
No, waviness, like that kind of stuff. They can judge all that. All right, let's cut the pink.
Really? They don't want the quilt to be longer than it is wide?
No. Square, to see how square it sits, whether it's longer, wide, or whatever, to see if it's straight.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
Like this quilt right here is pretty darn straight,
Yeah,
surprisingly,
what you mean by that.
when it's fully finished. All right, that pink, that combo. Okay, I have enough there for that piece. We'll cut 10.5 and strip off that one. Now I'm going to do all this from memory. Let's see how well I do. 10.5. All right. Move all these out of my way.
I'm only got about 20 more minutes for the giveaway.
Got 20 more minutes for the giveaway if you want to win a love note made by me. Just this finished one right here. The other ones will go for another year, another time, because I don't have time to quilt them before I go. I still have to edit some video and do all sorts of other stuff before I go to Virginia, North Carolina.
Yeah,
same difference.
Open gate. I don't know, open gate will come
Yeah,
out.
Open Gate will come out next week on the day that I leave, so probably Tuesday, which is the day that I leave. And then there's not going to really be many videos and stuff while I'm gone because I'm going to be busy. All right, we need a 6.5. Then I need, and it's free shipping in the US for this gift, my love note to you. And if you're outside the US, you need to pay your shipping. I'm sorry about that, guys. We can't afford to ship outside the US at this time. All right, and then that's 6.5. Okay, and this one I need. Oh, I just did that all wrong. Whale now. That's going to be the heart this time, and this will be the envelope, apparently, because I cut that wrong, and I am not going to fix that. All right, that's 10.5, and then I need by 17.5. Do I have enough for 4-inch by 17.5? Probably. All these different combinations, and I screw it up. Go figure. That's okay. It's still going to be what I wanted it to be, which is a heart note. All right, and then we need to take this to 17.5. Okay. And then I need this to be 4-inch. No, 4.5-inch strip. And then this is a 10.5-inch strip. Look at that, doing good from memory, right? All right, this I need 4.5-inch square from. Okay, that's my 4.5-inch square, and I'm going to take a 5-inch piece, subcut it to 2.5, 2.5-inch squares. And then that goes over there, and then the rest of this is 1.5-inch strips. 1 and 2. That over there. I need 2 10.5 and 2 12.5. Look at this, all from memory. Pretty good, huh? Said once you start making them, it goes pretty easily. Two 10.5 and 2 12.5. Remember, explanation pattern, you'll get a link to the pattern. I need a 10.5 from here.
It's a free pattern.
It's a free pattern on Fat Quarter Shop. I scoured the ends of whatever internet that I can find something that's didn't take forever to do, because, you know, I wanted it quick so you guys can do this for Valentine's Day, since it's only 2 days, and you can see right now they go together so quick. So that makes it so much easier for those that want to get it done real quickly for a friend or loved one and give them a love note. All right, I need 1 10.5. And then I need some 2-inch strips. I need 4 of them. Oh, come on. Stay right there. And 1 more. Toss it over there. 2 get to be 21 inches. And 2 of them are 20.5. Now look at that. Cutting it all out from memory. And I have a horrible memory, but quilting stuff, I remember. Weird, right?
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing how I can remember quilting stuff, but not anything else in my life. You tell me to turn the oven off, and well, 5 hours later, it's still on because I forgot that you told me to do it. It's horrible. It's crazy, too. All right, we're going to start by putting these on here. This is going to go on that bottom. This is going to go on the top. I am going to just line it up, and I'm going to pre-cut away my 1/4-inch seam. Why? Because I can. Take it over and sew it. Perfect. Line it up. Pre-cut away my 1/4-inch seam. There, right there. That way I don't have to move my seam guide. I can just continue on sewing. Press towards my piece. It's going to be weird with the heart being this cream color. Was not intending on that to be that. How many more minutes of the giveaway?
Sure.
15 minutes to enter the giveaway. Remember, free shipping, obviously, if you're in the United States. Unfortunately, outside the United States, I would need you to pay shipping if you win. But it's just a little love note for you. You won't get it before Valentine's Day, but at least you'll get something I've made. I hear it all the time, actually, from fans that, you know, they're glad I do the auctions and giveaways and stuff because they get a chance to win things that I've made, because that's all they want is something that I've made. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, now I'm making a bunch of these, but they'll go for next year because I don't have time this year to get it all quilted up. I do have backing and batting available now for 2 more, though, which I have now made more than 2 more.
Uh-oh, so what are you going to do with the third one?
It's going to get a different backing and batting.
Backing and batting the hearts?
Yeah. The backing on this. Oh, here, Scott can hold this up. You guys see the quilting and stuff while I sew.
Yeah.
I just did it yesterday in a hurry, so that way I was ready for today. So the back of that is that purple. It looks like hearts. That's why I pulled it out of my stash. Plus, it's cutesy Valentine's Day to me. And I had a little bit of fun with the quilting, obviously.
Okay.
I put a tag on it. I will write the love note on it on the back side of that part of the tag that you see. You didn't show the quilting?
I did.
Oh.
Oh, you mean you want me to show the front? I showed
Yeah.
the quilting on the back.
The front, the quilting on the
Oh.
front. How I quilted it. So there's an idea to quilt your love note.
The love boat. You made the love note.
Yep. Nice, wonderful love note.
Up, down, where you want it?
I just put it over in the empty spot.
Stay.
It will stay-ish.
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 Ish in it.
This one's going to be cute.
They're all cute.
Well, it has the thing hanging, being white instead, you know,
They're all cute.
instead of the bright hearts one. I didn't even fold this one, by the way. I'm just attaching. And you know what? It's working out just fine. They are bigger, and we are trimming it down, so. And I'll probably continue making these with the rest of this fabric just to get it all used up. Because what do I need all these scrap pieces for, honestly? All right, I'm gonna trim it down real quick. Oh, it's way up there. Right there. Line it up on a line. Oh yeah, that's perfect, Tiffany. You did great on that first initial cut. Just top off of here. Straight, line this up straight. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And one more cut. And I shall have a 17.5-inch square. Add my bottom piece. Sounds like the bobbin is getting low. Put my two sides on first, which are the longer ones. Look at that, everything matched up. I cut it all the right size. Just so far. Oh, look, I didn't lose the points on this one. And this one, I didn't mark it when I lined it up. So that is good. Just put it together. Yep, the next Breakfast at Tiffany's episode will be the 5th of next month, March. And I have no idea what we're doing then, but it'll be something because I'm just getting back. I get back on the 3rd, so I'm going to want to do easy stuff because I will be pooped the first couple days when I get home from going to QuiltCon. I always get a pooped. All right, I'm going to press this whole thing up. All right, so this is what it would look like. I'm going to put this one up higher. This one up higher. And this one is the white heart in the middle, which is not very stand-out-ish, but the blue one would be, I think, but I could still see the heart. So if you put 4 together, like this, imagine this being all 4. And you just make them all different colors or however, you know, all your Valentines fabric, put it all in one thing and put 4 together. That's what it would look like. I mean, so it's a no-brainer if you want to do 6, add another one, and then 3 across the bottom. You know, I think that would look really cool. I mean, it's a simple pattern. They go together super quick. You can make all the backgrounds different, so that way each one is its own thing instead of all one if you wanted. You can do all sorts of things. The sky's the limit. The pattern is free and have fun with it. That's all I got to say. All right, you can turn the iron off now. I am done. Look at that. So I made 3 of them, and I still have more than 15 minutes to spare. They go together quick. Huh?
We can call a winner.
Yep, we're going to call a winner for this now. Do you remember?
Real quick, that hasn't entered.
If you haven't entered, enter real quick because
Explanation gift.
exclamation mark and then gift, all one word.
We're gonna do it soon.
And the winner will get my finished love note here. All right. Why is this not working? I mean, seriously? There it is. All right, ready? He's answering a question real quick.
While you're waiting, just tell them what you charge for quilting. For long-arm
Oh, for long-arm quilting,
That way she doesn't have to
I
eat that.
charge 3 cents a square inch. So to figure that one out, let me tell you guys how to do this real quick because that way you know what your quilt's going to cost. Well, the general idea, unless you want all the extras. I'm going to open the calculator. And on your calculator, let's just move this up and out of the way. It's, say your quilt is 90 inches times 90 inches. So it's 90 by 90. We're going to press equals. That gives me 80. So then you're going to times that by 0.03. Press equal. It's going to be $243 for me to quilt your quilt. That doesn't include shipping and blah, 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 blah. So we can do that again. Say it's, I don't know, 86 by 102. I mean, it's a random size. So that one's 8,772 square inches. We're going to times that by 0.03, press equals, and it's going to be $263.16. Now, say you want custom quilting, and you just want your general idea of your custom quilting at the moment. You have a 92 by 106 quilt, but you want custom quilting. I charge up to 15 cents for show quilting. So you're going to do that times 0.15 and press equals. It's going to cost you $1,462.80 for me to quilt your quilt for a show. Just so you know, that's how it's done. So you can get your general idea. And then there's things that are extras, you know. I won't load a quilt. If your price doesn't come out to $50 or more, I won't even load your quilt because I have a $50 of that is the loading fee. So the small ones, you still have to pay $50 or else. It's not going to include shipping. If you want tags, if you want me to bind it, if you want me to do all sorts of stuff, because I can do it all. I've had it where I've finished piecing quilts for clients where they sent me all the blocks and the border fabric and the sashing fabric, and I've put the rest of it all together and then quilted it, and then, you know, piece the backing, piece this, do that. I've done it all. So the common one is for me to quilt it and bind it and send it back and add a tag and send it back. But I do that for everybody all over. So that's how you get your general idea of how much it's going to cost. And again, if you want ruler work, it's going to start at 4 cents a square inch on up. Depends on how much ruler work. But for basic edge to edge, as if you were to send it to someone that has a computerized long arm and they put the thing on with the computerized, that simple edge to edge, the same design from top to bottom, that's 3 cents a square inch. And the only reason why mine is 3 is because I'm all manual. I'm not a computer. You get what comes from me, and 90% of that is already custom because the computer doesn't have that design. My brain does. All right.
Okay, you ready to call?
Yep, we're going to call the winner now. Is it working?
How do you
Pick a winner right there.
It's not highlighting. I can't.
Let me see.
I have 1 minute left. I think we should have just left it finished. I hit close entries and the pick a winner is right there. It's not letting me. Oh, it's still counting down. I guess we have to wait 1 more minute.
Oh, we have to wait 1 more minute while it counts down. Then we can pick a winner. So I guess I can't just stop it and pick a winner.
Well, we closed the entries. I thought it would let you as soon as you close them.
I guess not. Oh, well, it's got 46, 45 seconds. 2 seconds, and then it'll be ready.
How long does it take to get the quilt back?
How long does it take to get the quilt back if you send me your quilt? Well, that all depends.
Anywhere between 1 week to 2 months.
Anywhere between 1 week to 2 months. It depends on how busy I am, how bad I feel. A lot of people send me their quilts because they know and I just get it done when I get it done. Sometimes I have to be inspired, even though you're next in line. I'm inspired for the other person that's behind you, and their quilt ends up on first because sometimes things just hit differently. But I try to keep them in order as they come. But sometimes the order gets messed up. But no longer than 2 months. How's that sound? Because sometimes it takes me all day.
Time's up and it's still not letting me hit this button. What is going on here?
This is what we get for trying to have a...
You don't have to hit the close entries. I already did that. Two seconds. We don't use this very often, as you can tell. Well, every time we do, we have an issue with it. Every time this giveaway thing... Why we don't do it. Gives an issue. All right. Scroll down. Now. Pick winner. Ta-da! Catherine Carlson. Catherine Carlson, you are the winner. So send us an email at just tiffanysquiltinglife@yahoo.com. tiffanysquiltinglife@yahoo.com. All one word, no spaces, no apostrophe. And you have won yourself a love note from me. How pretty. So cute. Not really, because I don't like, this kind of stuff. But we're going to pretend in today's video that I like this. Beautiful. It came out adorable. So you get your very own quilted project by me. So let us know and we'll get it shipped off to you as soon as... oh my gosh, I had my fingers crossed and everything. That's funny. Hey, I do that too. I cross my fingers. When I got to the quilt show to see if any of my quilts had won, I walked in like this, double cross. I was like, okay, let's go find my quilts. And then I found one and it won. One hand had to come undone. And then I found another and it also won. So yeah, I cross my fingers too. I don't cross my toes though, because that's impossible for me. So congratulations. All right, guys, any other questions? Because if not, I'm going to get off here early and I'm going to go eat my lunch and then take a nap because, you know, it's about that time of day. Type in explanation pattern and it will pop up with a link to the free pattern over on Fat Quarter Shop. Oh, Scott typed it in. Yep, it's very easy. Just rewatch the video and whatever. But if you need the written pattern and the written directions, because obviously you guys are not right here on top of me and can't see exactly what I'm doing, that is all in the pattern. And don't forget, have fun and purchase something while you're on Fat Quarter Shop. You know, I mean, there's stuff available for sale if you need some lovely love fabric to go with your love note quilt. All right, guys. I shall see you Sunday, which will be in a couple days, and that's it. I don't even know what I have planned for Sunday because I really don't want to start too much because I'm leaving for the next 2 weeks. So maybe we'll long arm quilt because I do have a whole pile of stuff to long arm quilt. And then Tuesday will be a open gate video. And then anything else will be while I'm at QuiltCon. So see you guys. Thank you for hanging out and I hope you had a lovely breakfast with me.